Yo, what's up, everybody? TJ McClellan, broker of Fitness Realty, here with another training video. This one's going to be the MLS Deep Dive. I've been waiting to shoot this one this morning. As you guys know, or maybe you've been reading our chat sessions, but the MLS went down last night and it was down earlier this morning for an unexpected problem or maintenance. So it was kind of just a little crap show. Anyway, this one is going to be an MLS deep dive. This is kind of me running around showing you some tips and tricks on things that I've had weird questions come up for. So we'll just get right into it. Bringing up the MLS, of course, you guys know how to log in. There is a regular old MLS video about how to train on this program or on this platform. So the main thing that I wanted to kind of go over was some interesting questions that I've had. I've had people ask me, well, how do I find mother-in-laws? How do I find investment properties? How do I find bank-owned properties and stuff like that? So I'm going to show you the way that I like to look those up and create those criteria sessions so that you can send them the hot sheets or listing alerts. So first off, let's do some residential. I always use full. I rarely use quick. The MLS number, I really only type that in if I know it from a client, but I usually just type it in this box over here because it's faster. But let's just do full. So let's assume this client is looking for a mother-in-law home. So then I would clear the criteria because I just want to make sure I've gotten everything off there that I have had in the previous sessions. Click on active, of course. If you like trying to market to other things, backup offers and stuff like that, that's fine too. But I try to just do active. If it's a mother-in-law that I'm trying to find, I just come down here to the public remarks and I type mother. Click out in the open space, and this has 65 active listings in Utah that have the word mother in the public remarks, right? So let's see. So this has additional 2 bedrooms in the mother-in-law apartment. Sweet. So this is a very effective way to find the mother-in-law specific listings. Of course, you could turn this down and go to Salt Lake. There's only 14, so that's pretty low. If your people can't afford 675 or beyond, right? Maybe you'd set the price criteria. So this sometimes happens where you have clients that, sorry about that. You have clients that are specifically in a price range, and so you have this capped out rate. Well, there are not any listings that are beneath 325 with that specific word mother in the remarks in Salt Lake. So you may run into that where you've set your criteria too far down and the scope is too small. Just get rid of a couple of things, and then open it back up for your clients and give them the information, and hopefully that'll educate them that maybe they're in the wrong price range, or they need to have more purchasing power, or they need to change their plans. Okay, so that's one way that I like to find listings with mother-in-laws. That seems to be pretty prevalent right now. Let's switch gears. So I clear the criteria completely. Go back to active. Let's just use Salt Lake County. Oops, sorry. Let's use Salt Lake County again. This time I'm going to find things that have more of a legitimate mother-in-law, not just the word mother in the remarks. And the way I like to do that is I come down here into this total bedroom bath here, and I come over to, or just come over here to these boxes, right? And then the way I like to do it is I go over here to laundry, click one, and then I make sure that I click another one. Sorry, that's the wrong block. Just go up here to laundry and do 2, and in kitchen, do 2. Okay? Sometimes you find that mother-in-laws won't have the laundry room, or it'll say mother-in-law but the laundry's in the basement and you guys want to live in the first floor and you would be sharing your laundry with whoever's down there. So it's not a true mother-in-law where it's broken apart and have 2 separate living spaces. When it's a mother-in-law like that, I feel like you would need to really have a trusting relationship with whoever you just got into that living environment, or maybe it is your mother-in-law, right? Like that's kind of where the term came from. So the way I like to do it though is I find those true mother-in-law styles that have two kitchens, two laundry rooms. So first up, and you can see this one right over in Taylorsville, Chateau Avenue. It's been on the market for 2 days. Wow, this one's looking actually really good. This price per square foot is unreal. You won't see 139 for, you just don't see that very often. So this actually is a pretty good listing. They do have multiple offers, of course. That's the environment we're in right now. They want them by Thursday the 28th at 11. Anyway, let's look over the information that I was looking for. So they had one laundry room on the first floor, one on the second, or one in the basement, a full kitchen upstairs, and a full kitchen downstairs. To me, that is more of what a family, or not a family, what a mother-in-law looks like. I'm hoping that once you guys would go see this listing, hopefully it's got a separate mother-in-law entrance. It's harder to actually write that into the comments, so I usually just look for 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms. Okay, hopefully that helps you find kind of a true mother-in-law scenario. That just makes it easier, in my opinion, to really scope down to something that might work for your clients. Okay, switching topics again, let's go to financing on the financing side. So we clear criteria once again, just get rid of everything, go back to active. Let's say we're looking for just any property type right now. We'll use Salt Lake County again. And then we're looking for bank-owned properties or property that's being put up onto the MLS from like a corporation or an entity or a bank or an REO situation. So the way we do that is we go down here to owner type, and you can change it from to REO. You could do HUD owned. Owner agent, those are just agents that are listing their own home, and then property owner, of course, is just regular listings. So let's do that. Okay, there are not any active REOs at all in Salt Lake County, so let's just get rid of Salt Lake County. So there's only 9. Let's see, we got one in Mighton, I don't even know where that's at, Vernal, a couple there. So you can see we only have 9 for the entire state of Utah that are on the Wasatch Front, right? You guys know there's several other boards out there, so there may be something like in Park City or the San Pete County has a board, stuff like that. And the Washington County board is for St. George. So there may be some there, but let's just take a look at this Vernal one. And you can see it right down here. The owner is Fannie Mae, so that actually is a HUD-owned or government-owned property currently. So when you find properties like that, you can read these agent remarks, and it usually goes through the path that your clients need to qualify through to even purchase that property. Anyway, so there's one in Vernal, of course, so you guys could check it out if you want. Okay, so that's how you find bank-owned properties. Let's see if there's anything else in the full that I want to go over. Always clear your criteria, start with active again. I'm just going to scan this really quick. I didn't really make like a synopsis of what I wanted to go over. I just have a bunch of stuff that I've talked about in the last like week from different buyers. Oh, I remember the next one. Okay. Some people, they go through a class on how to real estate invest or how to invest in real estate. One of the other options people enjoy is seller financing. So to find those, you do active, of course, then come down here to financing. And then typically loans don't have these assumption clauses in them anymore. They usually have due on sale clauses where if the current homeowner makes any adjustment with the ownership, the due on sale clause comes due and they need to pay that loan. There are some that are still out there with assumptions, so if you wanted to find those, you could click those. They're super rare. The other one that I've talked about with clients in the past is seller finance. Um, Sometimes you'll have clients that are interested in lease options and eventually purchasing the home. Lease options, in my opinion, don't set your client up for success because you'll sign today's price, but each year it goes up to market value and gets readjusted for inflation and stuff like that. So typically, lease options, and you can talk to real estate investors, uh, lease options are like 99% of the time never actually purchased at the end. So be very careful with those. But seller financing, this is the one that I usually send to clients that are interested in doing something like that. So let's narrow it down to Salt Lake County again. I don't know if I actually clicked that. Okay, let's find out how many we got. Let's just view results. I'll probably crash the system again. Okay, so you can see we have 13 seller financed listings on the market right now in Salt Lake County. Let's just take a look at this one. I think I saw this one last night. It came into my email because I get a listing alert or a hot sheet for seller financing for a customer of mine or a client. Sugar Factory Road, that's out kind of by where I grew up. So let's take a look at this one. It's been on the market 20 days. They've dropped their price. It's freaking tiny, so that's why they're probably way too high. Like $336 a square foot's unreal. Like nobody's gonna buy that sucker right now. I mean, that's just too high in West Jordan. Anyway, Zone Civic Commercial. So that may have a feature for a client you were looking for. You could call the agent for the seller financing options. The reason why I like to show how to find these is because you're going to start to have clients that are interested in really using other people's money to purchase into real estate. Seller financing is an option to do that. Typically, it needs quite a lot of money up front. So sometimes a person that has little to no purchasing power, seller financing is the most terrible way to go because they're still going to not have any money to purchase when they need to. So sometimes this doesn't work. Seller financing options I've seen lately are like 15-20% down. The seller would carry the loan or the note for 6 years or 5 years, and then they would expect a balloon payment at the end of that, which just means you would refinance into traditional financing and then move on from the actual seller finance side. Sometimes this is just an option for people that have cash and they want to hide the cash. So then I shouldn't say hide, they want to give it to the sellers to hold on to, start owning the property, doing cash flow stuff with it or whatever they're going to do. Okay, I'll get off my box about seller financing. So I think that's it on the residential side out of little nitpicky things or things that you just might get asked the question. One more right now that I just like to do is, or that I've been asked a lot of times is some active listings. Right now I've just been doing some stuff in Weber County, and then they've been wanting new builds. So I just put in last year for new builds, so you can see we just have 31. Some of these will be like completed construction. Some of them are going to be in construction, and some of them they might not have even broken the ground yet. This is just listing agents putting it up and making sure that the market sees what they have in their development. This one's kind of funny though. I'll just go back to refine. I'll put townhouse. So in all of Weber County, there's only 4 new townhomes in the entire county. So you can see how this inventory is just stupid low. But anyway. That's how I try to find new builds. So the other way you can find new builds is to just search across the MLS for areas with under contract new builds, and then go down to the bottom and ask that agent and just reach out and say, hey, how much inventory do you have? Do you have anything coming up? What's your build timelines look like or anything like that? You can really get your ear on the ground with a listing agent and say, hey, the next time you have new phase come up, like put me in the drip emails or whatever to get on the list for your clients. Okay, I think that's it on the full side or the residential side. Let's switch to multi-unit. Of course, most of the same tactics apply in multi-unit. I just start with clearing criteria, going to active. Um, Rarely do I get asked anything super specific in multi-units. Most of the time, they just really want duplex, tris, and fourplex. The real reason for wanting only duplex, tris, or fourplex is that you can still have FHA qualifications for that. So once you go over 4 units, nothing will qualify for FHA loan. They just don't qualify those. So you need duplex, tri, or four, and then you can find stuff that's FHA. To make sure that if you have a buyer that's going to utilize some house hacking techniques, or they went through a course that talks about house hacking, they may want to use FHA financing for any of those 3 units or 3 types of units. So then you just come down to terms, click FHA and make sure that it's good. And you can see it went from like 50 something to 15 listings, which is just really, really tiny. And then maybe you only want Salt Lake County. So now we only have 6. Oh, no way. Look at this one. Check that out. Huh. Duplex 1975, 350 on the market 10 days, which just means there's some work to be done or they're too high. Fully occupied, blah, blah, blah. Do not disturb tenants. So this one's kind of nice. The owner agent leases end in April and June. The tenants want to stay. So if you were an investor, this would be a great one to pick up because the tenants will just continue on through, right? Make new leases, up their rent or whatever, and continue through. If you are a person that was going to utilize FHA or a house hacking technique, you would want to move one of those out, and maybe that's why they haven't moved this property yet, is to utilize FHA, you may need to get closer to April so that the bank knows you're going to move in once that tenant's out. Because to utilize FHA, you need to move into the primary residency that you just put under contract or closed on. So anyway, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. The other thing is this might just be too high. So when you're running investors' numbers, you may just start running a lot of comps, and they'll be like, nope, that doesn't work, nope, that doesn't work, or whatever. $300,000 difference between the first one and second one in Salt Lake County. That's crazy. Here's a duplex. This is just to show you how crazy the market is. Duplex built in 1904, 640 downtown. Yikes. How many bedrooms is this? 3 and a 1 bedroom 1 bedroom studio upstairs. Yikes. At least both sides have laundry. That's usually a kicker for me. If I have investors looking, they usually want to have both units having laundry by themselves. Anyway, let's just refine and go back, and we'll do Salt Lake or Utah County. Sorry, and we'll see if there's anything else. All right, in Utah County, there's not an active duplex, tri, or fourplex that meets FHA requirements. Let's get rid of FHA. Oh, there's only one. So there's only one multifamily unit in all of Utah County that's active. Yikes. So you can tell this market's just crazy. Okay, I think that's it on multi-units. Let's move on. Typically, if you're doing anything in land, it's super easy to run this search. There's not really anything finicky about it. I won't even get into there. Farm, if you have somebody looking for farmland, let's sit down and work together. I've never sold any farmland in Utah. We did some in North Carolina, but that was a long time ago. And then commercial, of course. If you have a commercial client, just work with me and we'll walk through how to search for properties on commercial. It's just a different beast in commercial. There's more lingo that goes along with it, like triple net leases and things like that. So anyway, I think that's it on my tips and tricks there. Something that's fun to see is just market stats. The one that I love to do is sales per month report. You just clear criteria like always. You may want to do just single family home, and I love the average. And then I like Salt Lake County, so let's just take a gander. Let's see what it is today. This month, right now, we're running an average listing. Original OL means original list. So the average original list is 470 right now. Average sold 462. So you can see we're hovering a smaller number than this December, which is crazy. So what you'll see is, or maybe we can see it back here. Let's use January 2020. So typically December and January are usually about the same. Right now we're dipping just a hair, like $6,000, which that's like 1.2% or something, 1.1%. So let's see, February. This is what I like to watch. January to February is up, goes up in March, stays flat in April, up in May, big tick in June, big tick in July, big tick in August. September kept growing as well. It was an uptick in October, but not big. Small downward trend in November, and then it got stupid hot in December, which there just wasn't any inventory to look at, and that's why we had that big spike. So you can kind of just see what stats you want to run. I love to look at stats. This is how you do that. Something else that's kind of fun to look at is your market share stats for companies. So let's just do my company sold report. Let's do last year, because then it'll actually have stuff to look at. This year, it just is taking a little while to get all the information in. Plus, we've only closed like 2 or 3 thus far. Okay, so here's our company, of course. We had 22 current agents at the time, 13 people closed deals, and we had almost 3 listings per agent, closed 27 million. This number is just shy because sometimes we do stuff off market. And then we had a days on market of 15, which is crazy. This one I like to see is we closed deals above asking price on our listing side. Average list 311. I don't know what DVBA is, so I'm not sure what that is. So tons of market stats. I've never really looked way far to the right. I love these ones right here, what we've closed. The other thing you can kind of see is how we ranked against other companies across the Wasatch Front. So we'll do 2020 again. Really fast. Last year there was 1,421 real estate companies across the Wasatch Front. So let's find us. So we were company 199 out of 1421 or whatever we said. So that's a fun way to just look at stats. Okay, I think that's it on the deep dive of the MLS. If you have any more questions on top of that, just let me know. I love kind of tweaking things and looking at how to utilize this program or the platform. So give me a call, text me anytime. I'll help you walk through any weird thing that you're looking for. So, as always, I'm TJ McClellan, broker Fitness Realty. I love the business that we're building. I love to build it with our team. Our team is super strong. I want to say how much I am grateful for everybody that's on our team and how hard you have so much drive and how hard you push to grow with us. So thank you again, and that's been another training video on the MLS Deep Dive. All right, later.